We're live. Okay, we have some feedback. Hey,
Hi.
welcome to the female entrepreneur interview series and from Wallet to Wealth. And we'll tell you about Wallet to Wealth before we introduce our interviewer. From Wallet to Wealth is a brand created to speak to women to help mentor, educate, and inspire women to leading more empowered lives. And it's all about that. I was just listening to an interview with Kelly Childs, and she was talking about the number one thing in the world is female trafficking, human trafficking. I'm sorry, not female, human trafficking, and that it's all connected. And when you think about it, that stuff comes from not having a good self-esteem, and this is just all over the world. So, from Wallet to Wealth is an actual movement to help people live better lives and to develop better self-esteem. So today we have and our event is not this Thursday, next Thursday night. So we've sold a whole pile of tickets, and we're over $35,000 in donations and ticket sales. So if you haven't got your ticket yet, sign up and grab it. We'll be happy to have you. We have a ton of prizes. And so if you attend, you may end up winning a good prize. And we also have a great auction page. So today, we have Brittany Hammond here, who is going to turn the tables and interview me. So just to let you know, I don't know what the questions are. So this will be just coming at me out of the blue. So Britt, go ahead, and I'm just going to check my social media here.
Okay, well, happy Halloween. Happy November 1st. So, I wanted to come on and ask you a few questions just around like the evolution of how this all started because I think that sometimes we can see people online and we can see what they're up to and we don't really know the behind the scenes of like how did that idea come to be and how do you continue to show up and especially like promoting an event, there's a lot of work that goes into it. It's not just like posting casually on social media. Like there's a whole team behind this. So obviously, I was just home in Canada and I filmed your brand video and you had said like, you had this moment of clarity and you vowed you would give back to Halton Women's Place. But I'm curious to like, dive into that a little bit more. Like where did the actual idea come from? Like where were you? Like was it morning? Was it night? Like were you in a room? Do you remember that?
No, like, I don't know what happened. I think, honest to God, I think it was downloaded to me. So, you know how they say be very careful what you think about, because what you think about is what you bring about. So that can work for you or against you. So if you have negative thoughts, you can bring negativity into your life. And if you have positive thoughts, you can bring positivity into your life. So the whole idea about giving back to women and really to people was born when I was in Halton Women's Place, and I came out and I was like, I vowed that I would give back and help people so that they didn't end up being financially held hostage and vulnerable, so that they ended up into a situation like that. Not everybody ends up in a women's shelter, but they certainly end up being held hostage, male and female. So anyhow, so the over the years, I had been donating money to Halton Women's Place, lots, and but I wanted to call more in. And the thing is, Britt, as far as I know, this whole idea was born in Los Cabos, because you were talking about we're going to do a brand video and we're going to do some stuff. And so here's the thing, like a lot of times in life, I just feel like I'm the steward, like this is given to me and I got to go and do this, right? So this came to me, and I'm telling you, like, I didn't sit down and write a business plan of what From Wallet to Wealth was going to be. I had no idea that there was groups on Facebook. Like I wasn't in this world. I didn't know this stuff, right? So I had a Facebook account, but I didn't use it very often. It was mostly for connecting with other pilots. So um, the whole thing with it just evolved. It really evolved. So for anybody who has an idea, just to let you know that sometimes you just need to have the idea, and then it's almost like a runaway train, and I'm chasing the train going, holy shit, here's where we're going, and I got to keep up with it. So this thing has taken off.
Mm-hmm. So, how do you stay true to that vision? Like, if, because, it's a symbolic time because it's the third event is coming up. But I remember like 3 years ago when you were first putting this together, and you had someone else that was working with you, and it's kind of like when you're getting that download of an idea, but then you have like different voices around you, like, how are you going to do that? Or you should do this. Like, how do you like clear those voices out and like stay true when you're not fully sure like what the creation is yet? Like, how do you protect your vision?
Well, sometimes you have to sit in a spot of allow, just to allow things to happen. You're right. You can get different voices and opinions. And I think because I've been in business for 35 years, I'm used to that. But I've worked really hard over the years to get into a position of allowing and hearing. So the thing about a team is that there's some fabulous work and ideas that can come, and the team can keep building. And I can tell you, it's not that I haven't taken people off the team, because I certainly have. And that's why Wallet to Wealth has continued to grow, because it's the right people on the team. And it, originally it wasn't the right people on the team, and they were removed, and we added new, and then there's more and more and more. So it's kind of cool. But
Yeah.
vision is the vision. It's the same thing in my business, right? Like when you're a leader, and I didn't choose to be a leader. Somehow I was born a leader. I'm just a leader in all areas. When you're a leader, you've got the mission, you've got the clear mission. So here's the mission, and the soldiers show up, and we've got to do this mission. The leader always has the focus and has the ability to pick up new ideas and add to it. But someone's got to be holding the torch.
Yeah. So how, like, what were some of the fears of yours? Like, even if you break it down, like year one, year two, year three, like, what have been some of your own fears and challenges and things you've had to work through, like bringing this to life? Obviously, COVID and going virtual was a big thing, but what were some other things you navigated?
Yeah, I seriously, I had a lot of fears. Like I think I wouldn't be human if I didn't have fears. I mean, in the very beginning, I remember saying, what if this doesn't work? And what if we don't sell enough tickets? And, the first event, it was incredible because we sold out, and we still had to jam in two more tables because the ticket purchases got out of control. And there was only so many seats at the event hall that we had, which was a fabulous venue, by the way. So the thing is that there's worry and there's vision, right? So I think that to have the vision, it will always work out no matter what, because the vision's there. But the human side of me would worry. And I remember you asking me, saying, well, how do you know you're going to get the money? How do you know? It's like, I don't know, because it'll just show up. Don't worry about it, right? Like, I just
Mhm.
lead the project. People will line up, and it'll happen. But in all honesty, I have to tell you that I do worry. It drives me nuts, because there's a ton of work to do in fundraising, and I have no education in fundraising. I mean, I've sat on a medical board for 9 years. I I wasn't very good at fundraising, but I brought other things to the table. So am I driven by fear? I think one of the most important things is really to just pray for your outcome, and be in the stewardship role of just saying, like, I'm here to deliver the message. Like, this is a really important message. I know it firsthand, and I see it. ever since I was a child, that women are lacking in their confidence, and we don't always bond with other women until we learn how to do it. So it's really important to for this mission to carry on. So for me, it's just a non-negotiable. But yes, there is worry.
Mm-hmm. So in terms of philanthropy and giving back, because you kind of brought this up, and there's a difference, like you could obviously just write a check and give them money, but it's not about just giving money, it's about raising the awareness. So when you first started this, like was that always part of the mission? It's like we're not just raising money, but we're also looking at healing the core root of why women end up in these situations.
Yeah, it took off more than I ever expected. So it's actually become a movement. So yes, in the beginning, I wanted to uh, magnify the amount of money going to Halton Women's Place and to help other women to be able to give, because it's in the giving that we actually receive. So I'm a huge advocate for women to stand up and earn, what their potential and their worth is. And one of the ways to do that is to keep money in flow, because we all tend to be, this is my purse, I don't want to spend it, and I'm guilty of this too, right? And I had to learn over the years that I had to learn how to write big checks and give money away. So I've done that over the years, and I will continue to for the rest of my life. So and I've watched the women in the Wallet to Wealth group actually start their own behavior of philanthropy, and it's unbelievable to see the magnitude of what comes back to them by them giving. So this turned out to be more than I expected, because I'm watching ladies heal and grow and flourish and bond. Like, it's just like, this is good. This is a really good deal. So it turned out so just to really answer your question, what my vision was and what happened are two different things, because I started with a vision, and then it was magnified and multiplied. And ladies come to me and say, like, holy cow, like, like, who, we all thought about who we were going to kick off this island, and it's not about that at all. Like, so all of that stuff that we used to think that we were younger, like, we're able to heal from that. And when we heal from the past wounds, whether it's trauma around things that happened in school and high school with your girlfriends, or it's trauma that happened, with your parents, or trauma that happened with, date rapes and boyfriends and husbands and stuff like that. Like, those things hold us back. And it's in the
Mhm.
healing, when we're able to heal all of that, we can actually reach our full potential. So it's so important to get beyond that. And we all heal with love. That's how we heal. So when we're together and we can work on, we've had various workshops. We've had 18 workshops where we've worked on all sorts of stuff to heal
Mhm.
things, to heal the past, and to be able to step into what we have today. Create
Yeah.
write the new future. It's time to rewrite or to write your future. And the stuff in the past, we can't change it. And yes, it's very painful, but we heal in community. That's a
Yeah.
that's a fact.
Yeah, I love that. I was just reading. Monica says this is so powerful. Sometimes the plan can sabotage the idea. Yeah, I think sometimes when we overplan things, I was just saying this because a lot of what you're talking about, and I don't mean to hijack what you're this about you, but I'm hosting this workshop about the witch wound, which really is like it's the sisterhood wound. It's the tribal. It's like why we fear people, why we can't why women fall into comparison, like why when we see someone successful, instead of cheering her on, we're trying to find reasons to break her down or diminish her success. And I wanted to launch this all of October, and I kept over planning everything, and then it didn't get out there. And then I finally on Saturday I was like, screw it, I'm just gonna go live. I don't have the details. I just threw up a payment button and I'm like, whoever wants to come, you can come. And I had like 6 people sign up. I didn't have to plan all of these things that I thought that I had to plan. So
It's that thing that they say that the teacher will show up when the student is ready. And so a
yeah.
lot of times, you're right. We don't need to over plan things. Is that when you get a group of people together, the energy, whatever goal you are working on, the energy will take you to that
Yeah.
outcome.
Stacy says you can't go back and change the beginning of your story, but you can change the ending.
So true. It's so true. I really, really want people to be able to heal those pains and wounds from the past. We all have them, and oh my gosh, they really, really hold us back. For me, I'm still breaking through with new healings, and one of them is the father wound. A lot of us have the father, who you talk about, the mother wound. And so I'm working on, I've been working on healing that father wound for decades. But there's layers and layers,
Yeah.
and you just keep digging down or peeling the onion, and all of a sudden, like, more messages come. But the thing is that intergenerational trauma. So this could be 3, 4 generations back, downloads it into our lives today. So it's really
Mhm.
important to break those cycles and forgive. And forgiveness is the hardest thing in the world. And I think, and I'm at the level now where I'm actually looking at this because I pray about it. Because again, that's the energy, right? And I say, like, do I really need to forgive him? Because I'm at a place of compassion now. I'm at a place of understanding. Like, I am here with him. He's passed away, but I'm actually finishing my father's dream. And it was Christine Jewell who said, write a letter to your father. And I wrote an amazing letter last night to my dad about everything of, who he wanted to be. And I was able to download, this man's been passed away for 18 years, and I was able to download his thoughts and put it into the letter. And I don't think it's about forgiving him anymore. It's
Mhm.
about understanding that this was the journey, and I've picked it up, and I would not be who I am today if it weren't for him. He was my greatest teacher. But yet when I was a child and an adult, I wasn't happy about a lot of stuff.
That you just said something really interesting though, like I'm carrying out his dream, or like I'm finishing off like what his dream was. Um, I feel like that's really powerful, and I think that that's a lot of like, especially when we're talking about like the mother and the father wound, part of that like fear of shining, like we can have subconscious fears of actually not wanting to outgrow our parents, like not wanting to surpass them because we feel guilty, and especially living in there's a lot of privilege um, in the millennial generation, like where we haven't had to work in the same ways, or we haven't developed the same work ethic.
Work
And
ethic. Work ethic.
yeah. But it's interesting because it's kind of like when you look at the ancestral healing, it's like, isn't that what our ancestors wanted for us? Like, didn't they want us to have not only for themselves, but to have a better life for their children and grandchildren to have a better life? So I just
I
think that
think
was really
I think the
interesting.
baby boomers did. I think the baby boomers did. I don't know, but my dad was born in 1923, so it was a different world. But the one thing that my dad never received was peace and harmony, and that message was downloaded to me last night. Like, that it was late at night when I was working on it. I was like, wow, holy smokes. And that's where I ended up at the very end of the letter. And I've been able to do things with grace. And of course, we can always have more grace. So there's a lot of things that, my dad suffered, over all of his work anxiety of trying to get things done. And I kind of just landed and everything just happened. And, you asked me that, Brian Weatherden asked me that all the time. It's like, how do these things just happen for you? It's like, I don't know. I'm just the actor in the play, right? I got to keep up with the running train. So, yeah.
Stacy asks if you burn the letter after.
No, no, I didn't. And listen, I am more than happy to share this letter with anybody. Okay. I'd be more than happy to. The reason for this is that I don't say anything mean in the letter. I was moved to write this letter from compassion. I've written I hate you letters to him. I've even given them to him when he was alive. I've done the burning and all of that stuff. And I'm just still peeling the layers. And I'm hoping that this is the last layer, or maybe this is a new, maybe as I get down to the core, maybe it's more about just compassion and love, and that's a heck of a lot better of a place to be. So yeah, let me share that letter with anybody who wants to read it, because it really is about understanding. He's a man that came from Eastern Europe, and he lost everything. He lost his toys, his home, his country, his sibling, his little sister died. So, there was a lot of loss. And, when we suffer things in our childhood, we can become very ugly in our elementary years, and our, through school, university, and in the workforce. We can become steamrollers where we just roll everybody over because we want what we want, because we're driven from a place of not peace, harmony, and grace.
Mm. Well, on that note, because I know we're wrapping up, but I do want to invite everyone to the November 11th event. It's at 7 p.m. It is virtual. I have a feeling this will be the last year it's virtual. Crossing fingers. And like we said, it's not just about raising money for Halton Women's Place, but it's about raising awareness. It's about coming and hearing the stories of the different women, of what they've navigated. And it's an event that's about lifting people up. It's not about hearing like the some of the depths of like the horror stories, right? Even though what some of the women have experienced is horrible, but they're really there to share the message. And if you're watching this, you can get your ticket. The link is already in the comments. But also invite people. Like if you have a friend, or your mom, your aunt, your grand, like this is just for women, but if there's anyone you could think of that you could invite, like we want you there. We want to support these speakers. We want to hear their stories. And above all, November is Violence Against Women Abuse Prevention Month. That's such a mouthful, but
Yeah.
so yeah.
Yeah, November is Women's Abuse Prevention Month. And the thing is that I agree with you, Britt, for people to invite others, because it's like what I was saying, is that the teacher shows up when the student is ready. And I've been a lifelong student in my business and in my personal healing and growth. And I find that I just keep continuing to learn all the time, and it just keeps getting better and better. We say to people, just don't leave until the miracle shows up. Just keep showing up, because miracles happen. And I know that we have pain from our past, and we can heal that pain. We can collectively heal that pain. I've watched it. I just want to just throw this in here. I threw an event together, a Wallet to Wealth event at my lake house. I can't remember if it was 2, 3, maybe a month ago. I can't remember. And so it was 11 women who showed up for the entire weekend, and we didn't know each other. And the only common denominator in there was me. And there was quite a few girls that I had never met before because I had just only seen them on social media. And what was really neat is when we were sitting around my kitchen table, everyone was like, "Hey, where do you know, where are you from? Whatever." And the girl would be like, "I don't know." Or no, they would say, "Who do you know in this group?" That was it. "How did you get here?" And they're like, "I don't know anybody. I just like took a chance." And that's part of the thing about Wallet to Wealth is to, in the healing, come on, who would just jump in their car and go to somebody's lake house for the weekend? I mean, honestly, like
I
I
would.
wouldn't have the guts to do that, right? Like, I don't know what the place is like. I don't know who's going to be there. And we had an incredible weekend. We instantly bonded. The magic, the healing, the lifelong friendships. I want to keep doing it again. And it's the same thing in the Wallet to Wealth group. Like, we support each other. It's not only that we, buy things from each other, because I buy a lot of stuff because I'm trying to help people. But it's more so the soul connection and the open door. So this has taken off to a level that I
Mhm.
didn't write that. It just happened. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, amazing. Okay, well, Monica says it was so magical. What a sisterhood we created that weekend. October 2nd. So it was a month ago today.
Oh, exactly a month ago. We had so much fun. And so we're planning another one. I was thinking was like, we need like more bedrooms. And every girl had their own bedrooms. So it all worked out. But yeah, so just to wrap it up, is that there is hope, there is healing, there is love, there is community, and the Wallet to Wealth event is a lot of fun. We have a production company, we've got a ton of gifts, we've got music, spotlights, dancing, and really good inspirational speakers. I pick them each year, and each year it's great. So, and I just thank everybody for all their help and forwarding. It's been great.
Yeah, amazing. Well, thanks so much for coming on to this impromptu interview and my surprise questions.
I hope I did okay.
Yeah, you did great.
Yeah. Okay. Well, so we'll see you next Monday. We'll have somebody else in the hot seat. It won't be me. And again, thank you everyone for joining us. And we still have time I opened up a few more spaces. We still do have some tickets, and we'll see you on November the 11th, and we'll see you next Monday. Ciao.
Bye.
Bye.